A key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA. The federal prosecutors don't know where she is, her lawyers don't know where she is, and the prosecutors are using her testimony in the opening statement on May 12th. That's not that far away.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
I've been drowning in my PTSD. I can't sleep. When you know the truth and when you understand what we're talking about, you won't be able to sleep either. When you understand that there's a child being trafficked, brutalized, tortured right now as we speak, you won't be able to sleep either. When you realize how much your government is lying to you about, everything is in your face, and some of it you've enabled, you won't be able to sleep.
The mystery surrounding Ally Carter continues to grow while most mainstream outlets remain completely silent. More public voices have started to draw attention to her journey. Artists like Katt Williams and Jaguar Wright have openly acknowledged her story. And what it could represent, Ally Carter was once part of a well-known R&B group and had ties to influential names in the music industry. But her recent public statements have shifted the conversation from fame to something far more serious. She has opened up about personal experiences that she says left a deep mark on her life from childhood through the entertainment world. She speaks of trauma loss and being part of systems that did not protect her. Many who have followed her story believe it reflects broader problems that are often ignored or dismissed by those in power. Her story is not just about the past, it is about the voices that struggle to be heard and the questions that go unanswered. The fact that her interviews and videos continue to gain attention shows that people are listening and they want more transparency, more accountability, and more protection for those who come forward. For some, this is not just a story, it feels like a sign that something bigger is happening and more voices are starting to rise with it.
So when I got out, I was just out. And I was on a whole other level of, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because I knew there was nothing I could do. It didn't matter because I knew this would happen. If I ever tried to tell, I knew nobody would hear me. Just the same way nobody tried to hear me when I was a child. The same way the authorities and the adults that were supposed to protect me, they did not. They were protected by the predators. My mom has been fighting for me for a very long time. I met her when I was 14, 15. She didn't get to adopt me until I was 19 because at the time nobody wanted me, but nobody could have me either. If you've counted the cost, and some people are like, what does that mean? We don't need your money, but your presence is powerful. If we're in your area and you can caravan with us if we need to get to one spot to another, if you can stand and be a witness. There's angels that have, we sleep in our car and live in our car, but there's angels that have followed us to a gas station and we told them we sleeping right here, so they've slept in their car right next to us because all hell was breaking loose. But if you've counted the cost, you know that what's meant for me will probably come at you. This is a historical evil. This is decades worth of evil. So nobody is going to take this lightly. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that this is the hill that we die on. There are some people who are really upset by us saying what we are about to say. There are some people that are really upset that if this arrest goes through with the females I'm thinking it's supposed to go through with, some people really love Ellen and Oprah and Whoopi herself. MK Ultra is not a joke. Somebody has the remote to somebody else's brain. Somebody is threatening that they're going to drop me where I stand on Halloween night because you're conjuring spells and doing satanic rituals so big that it's helping the spirits. You know when they say they release the spirits over the city and the spirits are roaming and they're joking about Halloween. That is not a joke. That is not a joke at all. They are conjuring the hell out of demons. Some people are into witchcraft. I know there's some people that are into witchcraft on here. We've talked about this. We don't do that. We don't play with that stuff. But we appreciate that you're sitting here and you're doing something for the children. You're trying to listen for the children. But we don't need your problems. We got enough, as you can see. But that's a joke. It's not a joke at all. When you understand how spirits work, it's not a joke. CERN works, it's not a joke. So the amount of rituals and things that they are conjuring in your face, you already know that, because when you go to the bookstore, you see satanic books. When you go to church, you understand, because what do you think you go to church for? If you go to church, what do you think you go to church for? What do you think those stories in your Bible are for? Do you think that they didn't exist before? Do you think that they don't exist now? That is your war manual to exactly what is happening right now.
In her videos, Ally Carter speaks about being moved through underground spaces beneath schools, cemeteries, and amusement parks. And these are not random or attention-seeking comments. They are consistent accounts she has shared in multiple interviews and public statements, each time describing similar details with a steady tone and a clear message. While her claims may sound unusual to some, they have sparked conversations about the need for transparency and investigation. If even a fraction of what she is saying holds truth, it could point toward hidden issues that require urgent attention involving systems that many trust without question. This is not about spreading fear or conspiracy. It is about asking important questions and creating space for unheard voices. Her story is not the only one, and the more people begin to listen, the more clear it becomes that something may be going unnoticed. So let us take a deeper look and explore what this really means.
Yes, there were shrines used for rituals. There's bloody places. There's parts where there's limbs. People cut off limbs and want you to have. There's blood. There's blood that I don't even know who it belongs to. There's a lot.
There's no other way to get ready. There's no other way to prepare. There's no protocol for what's about to happen. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers. You know who's on those flight logs. You do. You know who should be arrested. You all do. You know that laptop from hell is real. You know that the black book is real. You know Ghislaine Maxwell's customers are who everybody is watching in the everyday news, including those who you drop your kids off with every day, your schools, your doctor.
Hi, everybody. So let's get straight into it. So prosecutors are expected to issue a bench warrant out for victim number 3. Now, victim number 3 did not show up, and they don't know where she is till this very second. Now, according to the rumors, victim number 3 is Ally Carter.
A key witness in the Diddy trial has gone missing. This is super concerning because she is crucial for the case against one of the biggest names in music. She was actually going under a pseudonym like 3 other witnesses in the case, but she decided to waive that right and reveal her identity in her testimony. But now she's MIA. The federal prosecutors don't know where she is, her lawyers don't know where she is, and the prosecutors are using her testimony. For now, she's known as Victim 3, and she was subpoenaed, which means that she is required to be there. There's a lot going on. In the coming weeks, we are going to find out whether Diddy used his influence and power to sexually exploit women for more than 2 decades.
And Ally Carter was supposed to testify that she saw minors at Diddy's parties. Now, a lot of people say she's lying, this and that, but what can be proven is she spoke about this way before any of this stuff even began. At this point, I feel like I'm not even qualified to say whether she's a liar or if she's telling the truth. But I will say one thing that's very eerie. Right before she went missing, she made this tape and she was insinuating that someone had broken into her home and someone was after her.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home.
In 2023, Ally Carter filed a civil lawsuit against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, sharing claims of emotional mistreatment, unwanted advances, and career sabotage. She stated that after refusing certain demands, she found herself shut out of the music industry, Completely, the case took a major shift when her legal team submitted material suggesting that some witnesses may have been influenced or discouraged from speaking out. One former associate, who had previously signed a non-disclosure agreement, gave a sworn statement that conflicted with earlier comments, leading many to wonder if outside pressure played a role in the courtroom. The judge raised concerns about the high number of sealed motions and protective orders being filed by the defense, which some experts say could signal an effort to withhold critical information. Legal analysts added that if any witness tampering or evidence suppression is proven, it could result in serious consequences, including financial penalties or a ruling in favor of Carter. And just when the legal battle seemed to reach its peak, Carter made another statement, saying she was nearly subjected to branding, a claim that further deepened the intensity of public reaction and raised more questions than answers.
I was about to get branded. I was about to change my complete look to go to Russia. Because that's what my pimp was telling me to do. So I braided my hair and I changed it. It was blood fire engine red, and it was so bright that it was so noticeable anywhere I went, and I had brushed it out so it's frizzy and crazy. And I went and sat on the swings, and I called my mom and my grandma at the time, and I told her, I love you. I don't know if I'll talk to you again, but I'm about to leave. And she's like, where? And when my grandma heard that in my voice, she rushed to the park. She saw me sitting on the swings. She's like, get home now. She called my mom. My mom called the foster home. She called the police. She called the social worker. And thank God they did, because it stopped the Russia order. It stopped my pickup. I was sitting on the swings getting ready to leave to go to Russia. And it stopped everything. That night, after telling my mom the complete truth and knowing that I wasn't about to come back, I made a choice to run and to disappear, because there was no way. CPS wasn't listening. My social workers knew and was in on it. They would tell me to stop telling people. People were making fake court orders for my mom. That was the time where I was like, it's either life or death right here. And the next time that I have to try to make this decision, I'm probably going to be somewhere where I can't get out. So I ran. I disappeared from Child Protective Services government custody for a year straight. By less than a few weeks, because of my last name and because of the elite ties that I have, they took me out of the missing child's network system. And removed me from any Amber Alerts or any type of system to tell anybody that I was missing. But CPS still collected money for me. There were fake FBI that were sent out to torment my mom, to mess with people that I knew of that my pimp seen me with, because he made it. There were fake FBI that came out to torment my mom because my pimp made it in a way that he knew who I was hanging around. He knew what I was doing at school. He knew all those things. But I had to be safe, and I can't say exactly how I disappeared. It would incriminate a few really, really, really good people, because they had to do what they had to do to make sure that I'm still sitting here right now.
This case is not just another headline about celebrity drama. It raises deeper questions about how influence and power may shape the justice system and silence voices. Many people view Ally Carter's situation as part of a broader movement aimed at shedding light on hidden injustices. But this time, the conversation stretches far beyond the entertainment industry. This time, the focus includes international concerns, stories of underground systems, and allegations that point toward large-scale harm. The details continue to spark debate, but what remains clear is that this case represents something much larger than one individual. The stakes are high, the questions are growing, and the demand for answers is only getting louder.
You're going to go to the police. You're going to tell somebody right then and there. You're going to have somebody be able to co-sign saying that, she told me that happened immediately. Mm-hmm. For it to be so many years later, a decade or so later, and she's saying that what she experienced was not, willingly. She did. It was forced on her. Then it happened again and again. Where does it come as far as that testimony, where the belief is in that, like, okay, you didn't leave and this happened to you again and again, and you sound like he's like, I didn't want it. There was a time when she's in the closet. He just walked in, pulled himself out, grabbed her head, and made her, whatever. And you stayed. And so it comes to like, and again, it's very touchy subject right now as far as speaking on this. But how does that play out in the court in front of jurors when you stayed and it kept happening? And then finally up until him getting caught with this whole situation now is when now you're like, okay, let me tell my story.
So let me start off with the pluses for the prosecution on this, right? Those graphic details and going back and saying the things that she said are going to be absolute key. And it's going to be the weight of the jury or the weight of that testimony for the jury to kind of decide if that is plausible or believable. And to go through those type of recounting what happened to you is something that's very powerful. And for her to be able to give, and we don't know exactly how detailed she got into that testimony, right? Did she talk about birthmarks or anything that only someone who would have had an encounter with someone would know? Those type of things are going to be absolutely key. The second thing is the grooming aspect of it. The previous, I can't remember which of the male assistants made the statement, but when he was talking about Ms. Ventura, he said, this is going to be easy, I'm paraphrasing, because she's so young.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so now, depending on the age of this assistant when these acts happen, it could show that Mr. Combs had a target range or an age group that he kind of knew that if he showed himself to be a father figure or put himself in that Camelot type atmosphere, or Lancelot type atmosphere, that he would be able to have his way with these women. And so all of that is going to play in a juror's mind.
One of the most talked about moments in Ally Carter's story is a video she posted in October 2024, which was later shared on Facebook by Coco Can't Be Denied. In that video, she warned viewers to pay attention to fires and even mentioned how explosions can sometimes lead to what seem like accidental fires. This clip began gaining traction just weeks before major wildfires erupted across Los Angeles in early 2025. In the video, Carter suggested that these fires might be connected to efforts meant to erase or cover certain activities. She explained that while the connection may not be obvious at first, over time, people might begin to question whether all of these events are truly just coincidences. Her message was not presented as proof, but as something to pay attention to, and now months later, it has sparked renewed interest in whether there is more going on behind the scenes than most people realize.
Their narcissistic ways. They will never take accountability. They will never take responsibility. It will always be your fault. Have you ever dealt with somebody like that? Yes? Okay. I know a lot of people relate to us because there's something that has happened in your life that you can relate to. So stay with me. The Getty's burning? Is it? Because didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all there will be an accidental explosion? Accidental fire? And the next thing you know, celebrities' homes would be on fire. Things would be on fire. I pray for the people in its path, but I also pray that it exposes the things that it needs to expose. But y'all have had that narcissistic person.
First, we begin with that wildfire that exploded overnight in New Jersey. Here's a live look from our Philadelphia station WPVI's helicopter. Trevor Auld is on the scene in Ocean County, New Jersey. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, George. This really became a mess overnight. Thousands of people evacuated and some major highways shut down. Let's show you that look up above again from our station WPVI in Philadelphia. You can still see some active flames this morning and really tons of smoke. A lot of the visibility is really messy this morning. And this was originally thought, the Jones Road fire, to threaten just a dozen structures, and then it erupted to threatening well over 1,000.
We're getting a lot of threats. A lot. Mainly from big kitties. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And you know what? Kill me. You've already tried. This won't be the first. Damn sure won't be the last. I just hope people see through it this time. We'll see.
They're always trying to find a way to attach me to some train wreck. You know, now, this Allie Carter kitty business, it's weird. Because not only DNA doesn't lie, Kenyan, but Allie Carter is now subliminally referring to me as here kitty, lying, saying that me and my support base are threatening her. It's not true.
I don't know what's wrong with my I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children?
I set children on a table.
Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have even though it's against the rules to do certain things like or Full House. That's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter. That did not matter.
So they come choose you off the table, do whatever they want with you, and then what happens?
Then they put you back on the table.
They put you back on the table for somebody else to come choose you? Okay. That's called a party favor effect. That's just one of the little things that go on at the freak off parties with children. Were there animals there?
Goats.
Did they turn the animals loose on the kids?
Yeah.
And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt naked, he had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh.
Yep.
Did you have actions with Diddy?
Yep.
Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no.
Katt Williams has now joined the growing number of voices speaking up about the story of Allie Carter, echoing many of the same warnings that Jaguar Wright has already shared. He believes that what happened to her was not random, and that she may have posed a serious challenge to individuals with influence behind the scenes According to him, this is part of a larger pattern where voices that ask the wrong questions or expose too much are quietly removed, and now the public is left wondering what really happened to Ally Carter. Why did her warnings about fires seem to line up with real-world events? Why is there so much energy spent trying to discredit her? And how many other voices could be facing the same silence? While no one is paying attention, this story feels far from over. In fact, it may just be getting started. And as long as people like Katt Williams, Jaguar Wright, and others keep speaking up, the questions will not disappear and the truth will not stay buried. Let us know what you think. And if you want more updates, make sure to stay tuned and keep it real.